Hello and welcome to CAN TV Conversation. I'm Saeed Abdullah and today we are talking about new efforts to reduce hunger through hunger relief programs. Joining me is Michele Zurakowski, the Executive Director of Beyond Hunger. Good morning, Michele, and thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, Saeed. How are you?
Good, thank you. Let's talk first about Beyond Hunger. Can you give us an overview of what Beyond Hunger does?
Yeah, absolutely. Beyond Hunger is a direct service provider trying to address hunger in 13 zip codes on the west side of Chicago and in surrounding suburbs. So we have a variety of programs that we operate in order to address hunger. The most popular one, I think, is the food pantry, but we also have a summer meals program, a home delivery program, and a large nutrition education program.
Okay, what services do Beyond Hunger provide, specifically for families and individuals?
So for the food pantry itself, we provide about between 80 and 100 pounds of food per visit. We invite families to come anytime they want within 1 month. And then they can come every month after that. And so it's a variety of foods. We really focus on really nutritious foods. So about a third of that is fresh produce. And then we also, of course, have meat and dairy products and bread products and non-perishable foods as well, canned products.
What makes Beyond Hunger unique from others?
It's a good question. I think that the thing that really sets us apart is our focus on a health equity lens. We always use that when we're looking at the work that we do. So I mentioned that we really focused on the nutritional content of the food that we have. We're one of the few pantries that actually has a dietitian on staff. And so we have 2 part-time dietitians, and they help us determine what the nutritional composition of the food should be that people can select. And then we also offer nutrition education programming along with that. So, sometimes we get donations of really healthy food, but it might be unusual, like celeriac root. And a lot of people don't know what to do with celeriac root. And so our dietitians can provide some kinds of recipes and lessons on how to cook with those sorts of products.
Can you give us some numbers? How many would you say right now are using Beyond Hunger as a source?
Well, it sort of depends on the program, but I would say in general, we're looking at about 1,000 families per month. So that's about 4,000 people per month in the food pantry. And then we have another probably 300 a month in home delivery. And our summer meals program is just getting started as the school year is ending up, and that'll be about another 200 children each week.
According to Feeding America, 42 million people may experience food insecurity this year. Now, how do you keep up with the demand?
Well, it's interesting what's happening during COVID right now, because while we saw this initial surge, and that's where Feeding America's numbers are coming from, was that initial surge that we all saw. But the government response has been really strong and robust. And so what most food pantries are seeing is a weakening of demand right now, because some of the programs that are in effect from that stimulus are really strong. For instance, the SNAP program, which used to be called the food stamps program, really got a big boost. And so what we're hearing from a lot of people that come to visit us is that, in the past I had to come every month, but now because my SNAP benefits are high enough, I only need to come once in a while. So unfortunately, those provisions in the stimulus are due to expire in September. So we're looking to see a resurgence in September when those numbers go down.
The pandemic is not yet over. How has the pandemic impacted the operation?
Oh, it changed every aspect of the operation. I think the most profound, though, was with the food pantry itself. Of course, initially we had to not let people come into the pantry anymore. And so we created a drive-through option that actually is super popular with people. So they can just drive through, we pop a box of food in the trunk, and then they can be on their way. But we know that not everybody has a car. And so we also offered what we call a pedestrian pantry, so that people could walk up or come up in their chairs and select the food that they wanted. So that one still maintains this option of client choice, which is really important to us philosophically.
Michelle, I wonder, how can we solve food insecurity? I mean, solutions to food insecurity.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, as I was saying, the government response has been robust. And I usually say that we can solve hunger through political will, resources, and logistics. And we've had the resources and logistics for a while, but we haven't had the political will. So the fact that we've seen, there's a researcher out of Northwestern, Diane Katzenbach, who recently did a study analyzing the impact of this stimulus. And while 43 million Americans were initially expected to experience food insecurity, right now it's down to 30 million. So that's a huge reduction, and that shows the power of the federal government to address this problem. Organizations like mine in the charitable food sector are always going to be needed because, emergencies happen and people need food in the moment. But for the long term, to really end hunger, you need to approach that from a systematic way, and that needs to have robust government intervention.
So can these solutions be sustainable for the long term to help people?
As long as political will is sustainable, Saeed.
In terms of the business model for this project, how does Beyond Hunger gets funded?
Sure. Most of our funding comes from private philanthropy, and most of that comes from individual donations. So people support us, from $10 up to $100,000 in their giving. Of course, not very many at $100,000. Lots and lots at $10, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Where can people donate?
They can go to our website, which is gobeyondhunger.org, and there is a donate button right on the front page, and you can learn all about the programs that we have in more detail and about the people who are participating in those programs and how they engage actually in the evaluation of those programs.
What sorts of things can people donate?
They can donate products, they can donate cash, they can donate time. So all of those things. And in terms of products, I think that's what people usually think of with a food pantry. We, of course, have the capability to buy food at wholesale prices, but what we don't have the ability to buy at wholesale prices are things that people need, but they cannot buy with their SNAP dollars because those are only for food. So things like deodorant or tampons or razors are all things that people need in order to be able to go to work, but they can't get with food stamps.
Is there any program for children to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So the specific program that Beyond Hunger has for children is a summer meals program. So when school is out, lots of children who normally get free and reduced meals at school no longer have access to that. So we have a program that helps connect people to that. This year, of course, is an unusual situation because people are getting, if they were already receiving SNAP benefits, those families are getting extra money on the SNAP benefit, the card itself, to cover what those school meals would be. And then the schools are also distributing meals. And so we're assisting our local school districts with that process.
Lastly, do you have any final messages for our viewers?
I guess the message would be that hunger can happen to anyone. All of us are a job away from having this need. And so to continue to support this kind of work in your heart and in your minds is really important as well.
My thanks to Michele Zurakowski for joining us today to have this important discussion. And thank you for watching CAN TV Conversation. I'm Saeed Abdullah. Have a good day.